Hey, Heartriser. You're smart. You're strong. You read the signs. You even warned your friends to stay away from people like them. So why did you get pulled in? Why are you stuck missing someone who didn't treat you right? Today, I want to answer that for you. Not just emotionally, but neurologically, psychologically, and spiritually. Because trauma bonding doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care how emotionally intelligent or independent you are. In fact, it preys on it. And you didn't fall because you're weak. You fell because you loved. Let's break this all the way down together. Trauma bonding is what happens when your nervous system confuses survival for connection. It's a psychological attachment that forms when love and harm are delivered in cycles. You get hurt, then soothed, then hurt again, then soothed. That's intermittent reinforcement, and it's the most addictive pattern the human brain knows. Coined by Dr. Patrick Kahn's, trauma bonding goes far beyond romantic pain. It happens in toxic families, friendships, and workplaces, but the outcome is always the same. You crave the person hurting you more than the people loving you. That's trauma, not love. Here's why even the most intelligent people get caught in trauma bonds. It's not about logic, it's about chemistry. Dopamine spikes when they breadcrumb you with attention. Cortisol floods your system during their rage, gaslighting, or absence. Oxytocin gets released when they comfort you after hurting you. Your brain starts associating the relief that follows pain as love, and that creates emotional addiction. You're not crazy, you're chemically trained to stay. If you watch my video 7 Narcissists You Might Be Loving Right Now, you already know the cycle. Idealize, devalue, discard, hoover. If you haven't already, save this video for your next watch. There's 7 types of narcissists, including the most dangerous ones. Let me know which one you had encountered and how you escaped, but what you might not know is this. Narcissists target people with high empathy, emotional intelligence, and resilience. Why? Because you'll explain their behavior, you'll believe in their potential, you'll try to love them into healing, and they'll twist that strength into submission, not because you're weak, but because you're wired for connection. Now let's connect this to your childhood. If you grew up with emotional neglect, abandonment, or love that had to be earned, your inner child carries a blueprint.
Love means confusion. Attention means performing. Affection must be chased.
That's why consistent, kind people feel awkward and why emotionally unavailable people feel familiar. Your trauma bond wasn't built in adulthood, it was activated there. Healing the trauma bond isn't just about them, it's about reparenting the you who first learned love as chaos. Here's the real reason a smart person like you were vulnerable. Empathy. You try to understand the abuser's pain. Responsibility. You believe you can fix it. Loyalty. You stay even when they don't deserve it. Hope. You believe they'll change. Depth. You don't do shallow even when it's harmful. Forgiveness. You rewrite harm as humanity. Grit. You endure pain as proof of love. Heartriser. These aren't flaws, they're beautiful, but when exploited, they become shackles. Let's talk about what trauma bonding steals from you first, your self-trust. Over time, you stop listening to your intuition. You apologize when they hurt you. You start thinking, maybe I'm overreacting. When deep down, you know you're not. This is the slow bleed of gaslighting. And the longer it goes on, the more you stop believing yourself. Ask yourself this. Where have I silenced myself to stay close to them? That's where the healing starts. Trauma bonds aren't just emotional, they're addictive. Think about it. After days of silent treatment, they finally text, "I miss you." And your whole body lights up. Dopamine, oxytocin, instant relief. It's like a slot machine. You keep pulling the lever, hoping this time the jackpot is love. But it's not love, it's neurological bait. Let's name one of the most manipulative tools in trauma bonding. Future faking. They promise the house, the ring, the someday. They painted a future so vivid you felt married to a reality that never existed. That vision, it becomes addictive. You weren't in love with them, you were in love with the person they pretended to be. This is called hope addiction, getting emotionally high on what could be, even when the reality is destroying you. You're not going back because you're foolish. You're going back because your nervous system is chasing completion. Maybe you had a parent who abandoned you, or a childhood where love meant chaos. So when this person hurts you, leaves, and then comes back, you subconsciously believe
If they stay this time, I win. I matter.
That's not desire, that's your trauma begging for closure. Leaving a trauma bond is not a clean break, it's a detox. You might feel an anxiety, insomnia, nausea, panic, grief over the fantasy. These aren't just emotions, they're withdrawal symptoms. Think of it as emotional rehab. Your body is unlearning chaos, and that takes time. The first 30 days? Brutal. But every week you hold the boundary, your brain slowly returns to its baseline. Healing isn't linear, it's layered, and yes, it does get better. So Heart Riser, we've talked about the addiction, the chaos, the craving, the illusion that this time it'll be different. But here's the part most people never realize. We didn't just feel our way into trauma bonding. We were trained to want it, from the shows we binged as kids to the couples we idolized in movies. We were taught that love should feel like intensity, obsession, drama. We rooted for couples who hurt each other because the pain meant it was real. But what if that wasn't love? What if that was trauma glamorized? Let's break it down, pop culture style. Harley Quinn and the Joker Suicide Squad's underworld couple. Harley wasn't always crazy in love. She was a brilliant psychiatrist groomed by her patient, the Joker. He used manipulation, trauma, and chaos to remake her into a weapon of obsession. The relationship is glamorized as ride or die, but it's really trauma bonding with lipstick. Harley says,
"I'd live and die for him."
but love shouldn't cost your identity. Rue and Jules, Euphoria's beautiful codependence. Rue and Jules connect through vulnerability, but also fear, pressure, and addiction. Rue says,
You're my reason to stay clean.
that's not a relationship, it's emotional hostage-taking. Their love story feels true because it mirrors the confusion of trauma bonding. Bella and Edward Twilight's obsession narrative. Edward isolates Bella, watches her sleep, and emotionally disappears without warning. Bella's entire world collapses when he leaves. Her identity is tied to his presence. She literally says,
I can't live without you.
that's not love, it's abandonment anxiety playing house. Christian Grey and Anastasia, 50 Shades of Red Flags. Christian tracks Anna, controls her career, uses gifts to manipulate, and punishes emotional independence. He blames his past for his toxicity, and Anna believes her love will fix him. Heart Riser, that's not BDSM. It's emotional coercion. Colleen Hoover, novels romanticizing red flags in print. In stories like It Ends With Us, abuse isn't just present, it's packaged in pain, coated in apology, and sold as redemption. Readers cry with the abuser because the story tugs on every string that trauma bonding does. He's broken. He didn't mean it. He's trying, but trying doesn't erase trauma, it deepens it. Songs we loved while hurting. He ever looped a breakup playlist full of I need you more than air. Without you, I'm nothing. Music like that trains us to crave pain. Repetition becomes reality. That's why every time you play those songs, you don't just remember them, you relive them. Rihanna sings, "It beats me black and blue, but it FKs me so good." The Weeknd says, "I only love it when you touch me, not feel me." Paramore, "You are the only exception." These lyrics feel powerful, but they normalize dependency, self-abandonment, and emotional starvation. And when you repeat them in your lowest moments, you're not just vibing, you're reinforcing belief systems. One of the biggest reasons we stay stuck, we're not really afraid of losing them. We're afraid of being alone. We confuse loneliness with danger because growing up, being alone meant being unsafe. Trauma bonding wires your brain to believe,
At least with them, I'm not invisible.
but Heart Riser, you're not invisible. You're unlearning the illusion that proximity equals love. Let me introduce you to Ava. She's 37, a successful business coach, fierce friend, and deep feeler. She met someone who said all the right things. For 4 months, it was heaven. Then, distance, dismissiveness, silent treatment. But every time she tried to leave, he'd reel her back in. With a love letter, a shared memory, or a dream he'd never planned to keep. It took her 2 years, and 5 at this is really goodbye moments, before she finally blocked him for good. Today, she's healing. Because she realized he wasn't her soulmate, he was her wound mate. You may be Ava, or your story may just rhyme with hers. Either way, freedom is still yours. Breaking a trauma bond requires reprogramming, not just resolve. Here's the roadmap. Go no contact or low contact. Start reality journaling. Write down everything they did, not just the good. Work with a trauma-informed therapist. EMDR, somatic work, inner child healing, regulate your nervous system. Meditation, cold exposure, affirmations, breathwork, heart riser. You don't just leave the bond, you rise above it every single day. Let's bust the myth. Chemistry does not equal compatibility. Feeling butterflies? That's often anxiety. Craving someone who pushes you away? That's your attachment system flaring. Real love feels safe. Trauma bonding feels like testing. Stop calling trauma passion. Start calling peace home. Heart riser, part of healing is grieving the version of you that existed in that bond. The you that stayed. The you that tried. The you that bent so much you forgot your shape. You're not just losing them, you're burying the you who thought you needed them to feel whole. You don't just heal, you become someone new. You stop craving chaos. You find peace in boredom. You stop proving you're lovable because you know you are. And when someone tries to offer you fireworks, you'll wait for the warmth instead. Here's what love actually feels like. Calm nervous systems, no emotional guessing games, safety without earning it, communication that repairs. You don't perform, you be, and once you taste that, you'll never crave the chaos again. If you're still here, heart riser, let this be your confirmation. You are not broken, you were just bonded, and now you're breaking free. Drop a heart if this spoke to your soul. Watch Narcissism 101:7 Narcissists you might be loving right now next. It completes this conversation. Hit subscribe because this is where we do the real work. Keep rising. Your healing is already happening. In case no one told you today, heart riser, but I want you to know you're not broken, you're healing, and you are worthy of the love you've always given to others.